Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make a fabulous creamy chicken and gnocchi soup. I've had a lot of people request this recipe for years, so I'm thrilled to share it with you because it's so easy, but it's so good, perfect for this time of year, and I'm thrilled to share it with you. Let me run you through the ingredients because there are really not many. You need some gnocchi. These are just store-bought potato gnocchi. Definitely take help from the store if you want to make this on a weeknight because it comes together quickly. Otherwise, you can make your own. I've got onion, celery, and some carrots all diced up. Some cooked chicken breast that I've cubed. I've got a mixture of heavy cream and whole milk. Some of my Italian seasoning, all-purpose flour, unsalted butter. You need chicken stock, salt and pepper, a little olive oil, and you're also going to need some Parmesan cheese. And that's it. It's so easy, but so good. Now, in my soup pot, I've got a little bit of olive oil in there, and to it I am going to add my butter. I'm going to wait for that to melt. Now let's talk gnocchi for a second. You know, gnocchi is one of my favorite things in the world, but I do buy it store-bought a lot just because I don't always have time to make my own, because it is a little bit, it's not a difficult thing to make at all, but it's labor intensive and I don't always have the time to make my own. So I always like to have a few packs in the cupboard because you can buy them like in the same aisle as your pasta, like vacuum sealed, and keep them on hand just in case you're ever wanting to have gnocchi on, for last minute dinner, or if you want to make a soup like this. But if you want to make your own, I've got a great potato gnocchi recipe that I've used my whole life, and actually made a recipe video here in Laura in the Kitchen years ago with my nonna, so she can share it with, and she showed you the entire thing and how she makes it. And so yeah, you can always make it by hand. I'm not even going to bother for all that to melt. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to add my onion, celery, and carrots along with a small pinch of salt, and I'm just going to saute these until they soften. That looks great. I'm not looking for any dark color. I'm just looking for the veggies to become translucent. And now I'm going to sprinkle in the flour. And I'm just going to give myself a minute and just make sure you stir it all in until you no longer see any raw bits of flour. That's how you get rid of that wallpaper glue taste. Because if you don't cook out your flour, what happens is if you were to just add it in and then just add your liquid, you'll never get rid of that raw flour taste, and then it all gets lumpy and stuff in your soup, and you don't want that. This is perfect. You can see there's no flour in sight. It's been absorbed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my chicken stock, which is just, I'm using my chicken base today because I'm out of my homemade. I make it and then I run out. Just always make sure that you keep some chicken base on hand or some chicken stock of some sort, because if you're anything like me, you like to eat tortellini and chicken broth a lot. So add that in, add your cream and whole milk, give that a good stir, and then I'm going to add in a good pinch of my homemade Italian seasoning. I like my recipe for it. You can find it in my cookbook if you have that, or you can just use a store-bought Italian seasoning. It's fine. I just like mine the best. And a good pinch of salt, a little bit of black pepper. And now all I'm going to do is bring this to a boil and let this cook for about 20 minutes. Once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna just reduce the heat to medium low and let it cook for about, I'll say 20 minutes. After 20 minutes of simmering, I'm just gonna add in my gnocchi along with the cooked chicken. If you want to, you can always add some chicken, like raw chicken breast or chicken thighs to the beginning of this, but it's just going to need to cook a little bit longer. So you can do that. You can just cook the chicken right in, but this works for me. And I'm just going to let this cook until the gnocchi is fully cooked through, which only takes a few minutes, and then we're done. Gnocchi's cooked. I'm just going to turn that off, and I'm going to add in my baby spinach. It's been washed and dried, and I just kind of gave it a rough chop along with some freshly grated parm. And I'm just going to stir this in. It literally takes seconds for the spinach to wilt. Oh, it looks so good and it smells so good. At this point, you just want to make sure you test it for seasoning. I already have, so it's good to go. Oh, I'm so excited. It's cold out. You need soup, and you need something creamy and delicious. gonna be so good. Look at that. Give me a second though, because it is gonna be really, really hot. Let's try the broth. Oh, that's so good. It is so good. The broth is so full of flavor, but yet it's light. The gnocchi like melts in your mouth. It's like perfection. It really is so good. It's so easy. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the written recipe. I hope that you make this at some point this week because it is absolutely delicious. Get a nice hot piece of bread or some rolls or something for Dunkin' and you are in business for a cozy, comforting meal. Hope you enjoy spending time with me and I'll see you next time. Bye.